I'm probably gonna have to turn this down because it's kind of loud. Hey, Sandra. Let me turn this down a little bit. I know we're a little late today, but better late than never. Better late than never. Y'all. So this Kevin Samuels situation really has me stuck because I cannot believe I just can't understand it. I can't, for one, I can't understand why women would call into his show at all. And I can't believe why people have not done some type of background check on this man to see that he really wasn't what he preached. Now, all of this high value, like, he didn't even graduate from college. He doesn't even have a college degree. Now, he got sick. He probably would have finished college, but he got sick and he said he had cancer and he had to drop out. So he didn't finish. He don't have a degree. And the degree that he was studying had nothing to do with who he turned out to, image consulting and all of this kind of stuff. He was pursuing a degree in engineering. So this image consulting thing came for him later in life. And it kind of fell in his lap because he was trying to get the men together. But his approach for the men wasn't working. And he said something about women. And, men started feeling what he was saying about women because it was, of course, you're going to get a lot of guys who, believe in the disrespect of Black women. There's a whole slew of men out there that, live off of disrespecting Black women. So this whole thing then fell in his lap and he was smart enough to run with it. So all of these things that he wanted women to have, he didn't even have himself. He didn't have a house. He was renting an apartment that some people are saying wasn't even in his name. So he was living in an apartment. He was not college educated. He attended college, but he didn't have a degree just like me. I mean, I do at least have one, has certificates. Now, I don't have a degree, but I do have certificates, but I have attended college. I'm college educated. I'm just not college graduated. And that's how he was. And when he talks about his mom, his own mama, the woman that brought him into this world, he has a problem. And he has a problem with his daddy. And anytime you get a man with mama and daddy issues, that is a recipe for disaster. If you ever run across a man and he's got some major issues with his mama and daddy, that is a recipe for relationship disaster. Because if he can't get along with the people that brought him in this world, he ain't gonna get along with you. He's just not. He will not be able to. He can't get along with the people that made it possible for him to be in this world. He's not gonna get along with you. He does not have the emotional intelligence to get along with you if he can't make peace with the two people that brought him into this world. Now, oh, happy Mother's Day. I posted both of my mothers on my community wall. I think I posted both of them. My biological mother, who gave me up for adoption when I was 5 years old. Well, 4 years old, because I think they said it took the adoption like almost a year to be final. So she gave me to my aunt when I was 4 years old. And when I was a teenager, you people don't realize what teenagers are going through because you seem to forget how you felt as a teenager. And when you look at your children and you see how they're acting out, you don't remember how your hormones and how you were trying to figure out how to you forget all of that. You just hone in on the fact that your teenager is getting on your nerves. But as a teenager, I had some very serious issues with my mother, with my biological mother, because I really started to piece together what happened. Um, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that she chose alcohol over her children. And I had some really serious issues with her that had to be worked out in my 20s. And had I not worked those things out in therapy in my 20s, in my 50s, I would not be able to look at her and thank her for at least bringing me into this world. And if you have a man who has issues with his mother, so it seems Kevin Samuels was raised by a single mother. His father um, was basically not in the picture. He was out having other children. So he has brothers and sisters that are not by his mom, like his dad has had, went on to have kids by other women, that it doesn't really seem like he has a relationship with them either. And then so I watched the Vlad, 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 I think, Vlad TV interview with Kevin Samuels. And this is where I got the information for if you want to go back and watch that interview. But when he was asked about his mother, he didn't really have a kind word for her. He just was like, "We wasn't homeless." She kept a roof over my head. And, like, that was it. Nothing like, my mom was a single mother. She did everything she could to make sure that, I did this, I did that. Like, I don't know what type of mother he had, but I can tell from the undercurrents of that conversation that him and his mama wasn't cool because he just didn't have any, good words for her. My adopted mother was the best mother in the whole wide world. The whole world, hands down. She did everything. When I came home from school, there was always hot food. My mother cooked. We didn't McDonald's was a treat. That it wasn't no DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that stuff back then when I was a kid. My mama cooked, home cooked food. My mama could cook her butt off. Stew, steak over rice, gravy, grains, beans, all that from scratch. Cakes. My mama was the pound cake lady at the church. So my mama made the best pound cakes in the world. And she used to make whole cakes, pound cakes, pineapple, coconut upside down cake, chocolate marble pound cake, just all kind of stuff. Cookies, it just biscuits, all kind of stuff. My mama was the bomb. Like, my friends would come over in the summer, my mama would make, like, these tuna fish sandwiches and cut them in squares, and she would make iced tea, and me and my friends would be outside, and my mother was that mother that would come outside with a whole platter of tuna sandwiches and iced tea, and me and my friends would sit on the porch and eat them tuna sandwiches and Granny Goose chips and drink iced tea until we that was my mother. So, to me, if a man can't you can't tell me you can't tell me, like, one good story about your mama? Not one? And then when the guy asked about his dad, he was just like, "Well, he came for significant birthdays, but that was about it." So this man had some major issues related to his family. Major issues. See, when you get in your 50s, you should resolve some of that shit. You should have had some type of therapy or something. You should have resolved them mama issues by the time you get in your 50s. Now, the one good thing that I did like about his interview is he said that he never disparages his ex-wives because he has two ex-wives. He said one was his childhood sweetheart that he had his daughter with. They only stayed married for a year, and then 7 years later, he married somebody else, and they only stayed married for 3 years. And he said, I don't talk bad about them. The marriage didn't work out and we moved on. I don't make a habit of disparaging my ex-wives. Now, I do respect that. I do respect that because I don't respect a man that comes up and, disrespects his ex-wife. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Goddess Wisdom. Hey, Naya. You know, if the marriage didn't work, it didn't work. You don't have to, when you're interviewed, you don't have to come on and talk about what she didn't do and all this kind of stuff. So I do respect that. So this whole image that he portrayed of this high value man, he wasn't even it. But what is your What is your opinion, or what do you feel a high value man is? Maybe having a house, um, maybe having a degree, maybe that does not make, hey, cupcakes, maybe that does not make a high value man for you. So, what is it that makes it for you? Because here in California, every man that you meet is not going to own a home. Like, you really have to um be working a good job to own a home in California. Every man you meet here is not going to own a home. So, is that a red flag for you after a man is a certain age and he doesn't own his own home? Is that a red flag for you? Do you, if he doesn't have a house, he's not a high value man? Does that, if he's not college educated, do you want a man that is college educated? And if he's not college educated or um college graduated, does that take away from his value? What takes away? Because for some people, if you're overweight, it takes away from your value. Some women don't want overweight men, just like some men don't want overweight women. You want a person that is physically fit and more healthier looking, because we equate in this country, we equate thin with healthy, which actually has nothing to do with it. You know, thin does not mean healthy all the time. Let me see, what comments did I miss? Goddess Wisdom said he was hiding his real image and sexuality. I mean, when I first looked at him, I was kind of like, he on here talking about women. Do he like women? But I mean, in his death, he was found with a woman. So we going to assume that he did like women. Sundrop said, I never knew my biological mother. I mean, I knew who my biological mother was, but I didn't know her as a person. Like, I knew what high school she graduated from, I knew her family, but like knowing her as a person, like knowing what she liked, knowing what other than alcohol and cigarettes, I don't have a clue as to who she was. You know, I can't really tell you. I know she liked soap operas and stuff, but I just can't really tell you what type of person she was because I don't really know her like that. I didn't spend that type of time with her to get to know her. I know she loved to drink, and that is one of the reasons why I don't drink like that, because I've always been afraid that alcoholism was hereditary, and I didn't want that demon to jump on me. So I kind of stayed out of the way. Yeah, my adopted mother could cook. She could cook her butt off. I had mama issues too. I was a grown woman before I could heal from what was going on. But at least you realize this. Some people don't realize that they have issues. And Kevin looks like the type of person that, he had that attitude like this is how it was, and that was it. But those issues come up in your relationships. They rear their ugly heads up in your relationships. When you are trying to have relationships with other people, those ugly demons will rear their heads and make it difficult for you to have relationships with the other people if you don't take care of them. if you don't kill them. You have to do that because you're not going to be able to have a relationship with someone if you have abandonment issues, if you have trust issues. Those issues have to be resolved because you're always going to be looking at your partner, everything that they do. You're going to question everything that they're doing, and it's not them, it's you. You're the one with the abandonment issues. You're the one always thinking that when he goes to the store or goes to the club, he's automatically going to cheat because you have issues that he's going to leave you. And that can bring up some very serious problems in relationships. So Sundrop says, as long as the person has a decent home. And that's me. As long as you're clean, your house is decent, you're not you don't have bed bugs or roaches or, whatever, and you're not like in the hood. I'm cool. I'm cool. You don't have to have a house on a hill. You don't have to drive a Mercedes. You don't have to be a millionaire for me to want to date you. And I've dated men from, a lot of different walks of life. Teachers, um, college professors, um, blue collar workers, accountants. I've dated a lot of different men. I've dated men who lived in apartments, men who lived in houses. I dated this one guy, he was in the military. Well, more than one person in the military. So one person was on the USS Enterprise. I dated somebody else who lived in Army housing. So, I kind of ran the gamut because I got divorced when I was 25. So I was still young. So, after I got divorced, then I was dating. Sundrop said doesn't have to own the home. I'm not picky too much anymore since I've gotten older. God is wisdom. One who is honest and operating in his divine masculine energy. Divine comes from the great mother universe. My opinion is not physical, it's more character and values. It is definitely character and values for me, but I don't really care what, you know, they're operating in. Like if the man is spiritual is good, but I really don't care about that. Like my husband does his own thing when it comes to spirituality. We're not equally yoked as, the Bible says. I mean, we're both Christian, but then, of course, I have another component. I do my own thing. He has nothing to do with that. Like, he's not interested in the Orishas or African spiritual traditions or anything like that, crystals, none of that. He's not interested in that. And I don't care. Like, that's never been a red flag for me that me and the person are not on the same wavelength when it comes to religion. As long as the person respects what I do, I don't care what they do, you know. Hey, Moth Mama. Okay, sweetie. Yeah, I know it's late. I know I came on late. Girl, I had to take a nap. And I woke up late. We had to get up early this morning because Gizmo had to be at the vet at 10. So My husband got up because he wanted to exercise before he left and stuff. So we got up a little early so he could do that, and then we could get Gizmo to the vet. And when we got back, I fixed my husband lunch, and I didn't take a nap until after he left. And I woke up kind of late, so that's why I'm on this late uh, in the evening. But I'm a really try not to normally come on this late. So Goddess Wisdom said, yeah, he talked about women's weight too much for me. Meanwhile, my father was in shape, took care of his body, and my dad loved big women only. Yeah. And you know what's weird is a lot of men that have issues with women's weight is because their mom was big. A lot of men who have issues with women's weight, their mama was a big woman, and that ain't what they want. But you don't have to. But don't disrespect other big women, because I saw in that interview, the guy from Vlad even said that, yeah, one of your videos that went viral was you telling a woman that said she was 5'9" and weighed 220 pounds, that she was bigger than a linebacker. That was one of his viral videos. And he was like, "Well, she is. She does weigh more than some men that play football." But did you have to say that though? Because I weigh more than 220 pounds. But do you have to compare me to a football player, a linebacker? No, you don't. Because there are a lot of men out there who are attracted to big women. And that was what the guy from Vlad said. He said there's a lot of men out there who are, BBWs. That's the thing. It's a lot of women out here, I mean men out here who are attracted to child. When I be doing when I put my wig on and stuff and do my filters and take my cute pictures and showing off my cleavage and stuff and tag BBW and put that on my because I got another Instagram page that y'all don't know nothing about. It's just for the men's. And be tagging BBW and plus size. Do you know the niggas always sliding into my DMs? Huh? They be sliding. It is some men out here that love them some big women. They love it. All kind of men. I didn't realize BBWs was getting that much play, child. But yes, I gotta wash my hair. I took my twisties down. That's why I look like this. I'm gonna wash it. Yes, they. Oh my goodness, the BBW hashtag on Instagram is huge. Huge. So it's a whole lot of men that love plus size women. And some of them, I'm not even consider plus size for them. This ain't big enough. Like some of them, like the super size BBW, the SS BBW, them the big girls. Men love that. It's just your preference. Like he was a very tall, slim guy, and it looks like he's been slim all his life because somebody showed pictures of him, I guess, like when he was in college or whatever, and it does look like he's been slim forever. That's just his body makeup. And just because you like small women don't mean everybody do. Some men out here liking women with meat on their bones. Okay? They want a woman with some meat on her bones. He was just one of them men that didn't. I mean, he the and the 911 call was released. I guess TMZ got the 911 call from the incident and it was released. And I guess people are crazy. This generation, y'all be looking for conspiracies in everything. Okay? Everything. Everything ain't a conspiracy. This man probably just had a legit heart attack. Like it looks like he had a what they call a widowmaker, where you just about dead before the paramedics even get there. There are some heart attacks where, a small heart attack, you can make it to the hospital. They can unblock. There's something on my glass jar. They can unblock whatever or give you some medication. If it's, small, they can treat it and you will be okay. But there are some heart attacks where you literally fall dead by the time you hit the floor or whatever, you gone. And it looks like that's what he had because in the 911 call, she is now the girl is a nurse. They done found her license and every half of y'all people on the internet, y'all should have been police and working for the FBI and stuff. They done found her nursing license and everything. So she legit was a nurse. She was performing CPR, I guess, until the paramedics got there. And she was saying that she thought they had whatever the defibrillator machine is in his apartment complex. And she was begging the 911 operator to call down to the apartment complex and have somebody bring the defibrillator up there because she was performing 911. But she was saying that he was turning blue and everything. And, turning blue means that there is no oxygen, like the oxygen is not circulating to the body the way it is supposed to be. And once you turn blue, it's bad. And he didn't make it. He probably had what they call a widowmaker heart attack, and he just didn't make it. And I guess TMZ released the 911 calls so you could hear how frantic this young lady was and how she was trying to save his life because people were, bothering her on Instagram saying she probably did it on purpose or she set him up or she didn't help him, and she was helping him. She was doing everything she could. But the thing is, y'all fail to realize that when God calls you home, I don't care who was there, what medical doctor was there, what defibrillator was there, what drugs were there to help start your heart. If your number has been pulled that day, you going home. Y'all be forgetting that part. because they was like, "Oh, she didn't help him. She wasn't doing this. She wasn't doing that." It's only so much she could do. If that day was the day that Kevin Samuels was supposed to go home to meet his maker, that was his day. Ain't nothing that girl could do. He wasn't supposed to make it. We're not put here to stay forever. Can't nobody keep you past your expiration date. So no matter what that girl was doing, how much she was putting into it, and she was, you could tell in her voice that she, for one, she was like, "This is Kevin Samuels." Like she knew who he was. And this girl was like, "God, of all the damn people to die on me, Kevin fucking Samuels dying?" You could hear it in her voice. She did not want that to happen. But, sweetheart, you are not in charge of anybody's fate. Because if we were in charge of people's fate, none of our relatives would die. None of the people that we love would die. We would keep them here if we had that kind of power. She didn't have the power over that situation. There was someone greater than her taking care of that situation. God tapped Kevin Samuels on his shoulder and was like, "Hey, come on home. You did what you were supposed to do. Come on home." And he had to go. That on that day. That day. Not another day. That day. Because he didn't even make it to the hospital. By the time 911 got there, he was unresponsive. And he never regained. That was it. She did sound like she was panicking. She did, beautiful magic. She panicked. She panicked because all of those things probably was going through her mind. Oh my God. This is Kevin Samuels. This man is dying on me. Because she even said he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. She was a nurse. She knew he wasn't going to make it. She knew the severity of that situation because she was a nurse. She was like, "He's not gonna make it." She knew it. Sundrop said, "My uncle had a heart attack on his bicycle, exercycle." Sundrop said, "I was told if I lost weight, I would get a boyfriend." Girl, it's men out here love big women. Don't let nobody tell you because I've always been chubby and I ain't never had a problem. Now, I am the heaviest now than I have ever been, but I have always hovered 199, 200. I always hovered around that era, right around in there. So that your weight has nothing to do with it. I mean, there are some men that do like, petite, small women. There are some men out here that is their preference. But that's not every man. That ain't every man. It's some men out here that like thickums. They like them thick. I wonder if he was talking about black women to her. I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew who he was. So I'm pretty sure she has watched this show. She knew what he was capable of. She knew who he was because in the she was like, "It's Kevin Samuels." Like his name held weight to the 911 person that she was talking to. I don't They were in Atlanta, so maybe the 911 operator, because the 911 operator did sound black. Maybe she knew who he was, but she was still like, all right, well, let me get you to the ambulance. Because the 911 operators, they have to maintain their cool. They can't be on there. Girls, Kevin Samuels. The 911 operator can't do that. So she was just like, okay, well, let me get you over to the ambulance. And she just went from there. My highest weight was 267. I'm now girl, I wish I was in the 170s. My highest weight was 265, I think, somewhere around there. And I'm back down to 247, 250, somewhere around there. It's like, gosh, as soon as I went through, hey Chester, um, menopause, me and 250 became best friends. But I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. So if you have not heard, I don't want to play it on here because I would have to take it off of somebody else's channel because I haven't seen the audio just by itself. But if you have not heard the 911 call, you can go to Troy Allen's YouTube channel. He does have it on his channel and it's on other channels on YouTube. Just look for Kevin Samuels 911 call. And you can hear the fear and the anguish in that young lady's voice. You could hear her sounding like she was performing CPR, like she is literally begging the 911 operator for that defibrillator thing because I know she felt like if she could get her hands on that defibrillator and jumpstart his heart, because she was saying that his heart was in a irregular rhythm. She could tell. She said he was breathing, and yeah, it's hard to listen to. It is because she was like, "Stay with me, Kevin. Think about your mom. Think about your daughter. Stay with me. Stay with me." Like she was legit begging him to stay. He wasn't saying anything, you couldn't hear him like thank God you couldn't like hear him gasping for breath or whatever. But she was saying that his breathing was irregular. And she was coaching. She was trying to keep him here. But if it's your time to go, if it's your day, you're leaving. People that don't leave, people that survive surgeries and survive heart attacks, it just wasn't a time. It wasn't a time to go. That was just your wake up call. I could have got you today, but I'll let you stay. Because if it's your time, you're leaving. And nothing and nobody can stop that. Oh, Beefing 313. That's go to his channel if you want to listen to the audio. He is right here in the chat. Go to his channel if you want to listen to the audio because I don't want to play it. She really was trying to help him, Troy. You could tell Like, I could tell this young lady was legit a nurse. Because she knew what she was talking about. She was talking about, his breathing was shallow. She knew what she needed. She knew she needed that defibrillator because I have worked as a medical assistant, so I do also have medical training. You could tell she was knowledgeable, she knew what was going on. Plus, I have seen her nursing license. I'm not sure if you showed it, Troy, or somebody showed her nursing license. So the girl is legit a nurse. And that 911 call is crazy. It's sad because you could tell that this man, I from the 911 call, I was like, oh yeah, he ain't gonna make it. Because she knew. She knew. She was like, he's not gonna make it. He's turning blue. He's not gonna make it. So, um, yeah. So this woman, all of these conspiracies about her doing it or, doing something to him, I don't believe that. I just think it was just a very bad situation, you know. And it could have been worse because he could have been home by himself and then nobody found him for 3 days or something. At least someone was there with him. You know, people making videos about, oh, well, what he said about other people, you know, f- fat women or older women dying alone. This happened to him, but he didn't die alone. Someone was there with him. I'm going to tell you guys a very sad story that happened to my family. So my ex-husband was a military veteran and he was on dialysis, waiting for a transplant, going back and forth to the VA and stuff, in which I really hate. I really don't think that the VA gave him the best medical care. But anyway, one day he went to McDonald's. Um, it was on one of his dialysis off days. So he went to McDonald's and when he got a cup of coffee, I think they said he just got a cup of coffee and then he left. And they said when he walked out of McDonald's, he walked across the street and he was staggering and he fell. And across the street from this McDonald's was a park and he fell right there. And he fell dead right there in the park by himself. And so someone saw him, I guess they called 911, but by the time 911 got there, he was deceased. He died in a park by himself. And he was a grandfather, he was a um military veteran, he was a father. He was loved by so many people and he died in a park on the street by himself. That's dying by yourself. By yourself. And I think that hurt us as a family more than anything else because, my kids loved him. Me and him had healed all of that stuff that, we had went through, going through a divorce, and we had finally healed all that. And we had like legit became friends. Like I was checking on him at least once a week and to get a call from the morgue, he had my son's phone number in his phone as son, the kids. And the morgue called my youngest son. And so I think my son I think they were like 19 or 20, I think. Because I think Amani was born. She was just real small. Um, and my son didn't understand because the guy was saying he was calling from the morgue. And my son was like, the morgue? Like, and so the guy at the morgue was like, "Is your mom there? Is your mother there?" Because he knew he had his father. And so I got on the phone and he was like, asked me who I was and did I know, my kid's dad. And I was like, "Yeah, that's my ex-husband." And he said that he had passed away that morning in a park. He explained what happened, and he said he obviously just had a heart attack and just fell dead, just dropped dead right there. So that's dying by yourself. Kevin died with someone, and someone that he may not have known her for a long time, but he knew enough of her to trust her to allow her to spend the night with him. And, I'm pretty sure they had been intimate or whatever. So he didn't die alone. Now, he may not have died like he said people should, you in a marriage and you with somebody, and, that's not dying alone. But, he wasn't alone. At least God set it up for someone to be there with him during that difficult time. And they didn't find him 3 or 4 days later at home in his apartment by himself. Dark Goddess said, "My husband died by himself. He was dead 3 days before my daughter found him." See, that's what you don't want. You don't want something like that to happen. You don't want someone to find you done been dead. And when you live by yourself, you live in an apartment. What if you don't know your neighbors like that, or your neighbors know that you mind your own business and you stay in the house and they don't bother you, you don't bother them? Like, I've seen a whole lot of things on, like, how people be dying in China and don't nobody know that they be in their apartment dead. They been in there dead for like 2 or 3 weeks before somebody go in and find them. So at least that didn't happen. You go to dialysis tomorrow. My grandkids' other grandmother, she has dialysis twice a week. So we are praying for you, Sundrop, because I know that dialysis is, it takes a toll on the body. And that was the thing. Like, my ex-husband had a small heart attack before this happened, before he died. He had a small heart attack and he survived that one, but this last one, it took him out. Is that the one, Chester? Is that the one that they showed on YouTube? It's like, it's not a documentary, but they were talking about the neighbors didn't know that this she had been dead for all of this time. She had been dead for like 3 years and nobody knew. Like, nobody in her family checked on her, or she didn't have any family or something like that, but nobody knew that she had been dead in there that whole time. I mean, that kind of stuff really legit happens. But this documentary that I was watching about China was like, yes, Chester, I saw that. I saw that on YouTube. This documentary that I was watching talks about how people, the cleanup people, the people that go into these apartments and have to clean up after, like people have died and stuff. My sister-in-law's husband does that kind of work. He does it here in the Bay Area. That's his business. He goes to wherever and clean up when people commit suicide or, people die or, whatever. That's what his business is, to clean up behind stuff like that. I don't have the stomach for it or the mental fortitude. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how like I think she in a house? Wasn't she in a house though? I don't think she was in an apartment because apartment would have checked. You're not gonna go 3 years in an apartment and they're not gonna come and check or something. I can't remember, but I do remember seeing that though. But let's go back. What is the a high value man? And I'm gonna tell you some of my quality. This whole high value thing. I don't believe. I don't. I've never used that term before, but the qualities that I like in a man is, oh, thank you. I just took my twisties down. I'm gonna wash my hair in a couple of days. So I just took my twisties down. I like a man that can talk. I like a man that can communicate. If you say you're going to do something, I want you to do it. If you say you're going to pick me up at 10 o'clock, I want you to pick me up at 10 o'clock. If you say you're going to call me, I want you to call me. Now, I don't care, he don't have to be suited and booted because my style now is very relaxed. So the clothes, the watches, the shoes, and all of that kind of stuff, I'm not concerned with. The only thing I'm concerned with is good hygiene. I don't care, really what your style is. I care about how you treat me, how you treat my kids, how you treat your family, how you treat your mother and father if they are still alive, how you treat your sisters and brothers, how you get along with them, what your relationship is with your family. Those type of things are very important to me. How you treat animals. Do you like animals? If a man don't like no kind of animal, I'm looking at you unless you allergic to them or you had like a incident, something happened to you as a child. But if you just don't like animals, period, I'm looking at you funny because I love animals. I have to have a cat, dog, something. So, how you treat me, class, dignity, integrity, all of those things, hygiene. I don't care how you wear your hair, just make sure it's combed. Because, this is what my husband see. It's natural. This my hair. He loves my hair. He don't care. He know this is how my hair grow out of my scalp. How you gonna get mad at me for the way my hair naturally grows out of my scalp? Like, do you know how crazy that sounds? I don't want to wear a wig every day. I'm definitely not gonna sleep in no wig. So you got to like natural hair. You know, you just have to. And you have to like a woman that's not going to wear makeup cuz I'm not going to do it. So you have to be willing to accept me for who I am and not have a problem with that. I love cats too, but I am allergic to them. So, but I do want another cat. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I do want a cat though when we move. But my husband, when we got together, my kids were in their 20s. I already had one grandchild. I had one grandchild and one on the way. And I had to see how, he was around my family. But I knew him. I knew he was a good person because we were together as teenagers. But from your teen years to 40, a lot of things happen in that gap. He was married, divorced. I was married, divorced. I had kids. He didn't have any kids. Was the fact that I had kids, was that going to be a problem? Like it never was. But all of those things, were things that we had to get used to. My husband is quiet like me. He likes a lot of time to himself. So do I. And we get along in that. He does his thing. He likes video games and animation where he's always tinkering with computers and the other day he something was going on with his computer, and he went to Best Buy. He was buying all this stuff. He didn't took the computer apart. He in the living room putting the thing back together. That's his shit. He love that. Tinkering with computers and on the computer. And while he's doing that, I'm watching YouTube, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. That's what I like to do. He is extremely respectful. He is extremely loving. He's extremely caring, not, with just me, but with just people in general. Like my husband is a lot more friendly than I am. I'm not that friendly with strangers. Like my husband will speak to people, hey, how you doing? Not me. I don't know you. I ain't speaking to you. Shit, get the hell out of my way. I'm trying to get over here to get me a Snicker. But he, he's nice. I'm not the nice one in this relationship. But I like the way he treats other people. All of those things are important to me. How other people see him, how the people at his job respect him, how guys at his job look up to him. And when he says somebody is like always telling him their business or asking him for advice or whatever, I'm like, because you're a good guy. And of course, guys are gonna, flock to you because you're a good dude. It's like, younger guys, of course, want your advice because they respect you. That's what I like. I like a man that other men can look at and be like, yeah, that's a good dude. I'm on. Let me go over here and ask him, man, how you get a wife and I can't get one? That's the type of stuff you look for. Like my husband, like you got to really make him mad for him to raise his voice. He's not, a person that curses, and he not ghetto. He's not, that's never been his style. He's never been a bad boy. I, on the other hand, will cuss you out. Just will cuss you out. My husband, my husband's not like that. Thank God. I will though. I'm the ooh. I have, I've really toned it down since I've been married, you know. But we grew up totally different. Like I grew up in the hood. My husband, his family, he grew up in the not the hood. He, grew up in houses and, he's mostly lived in a house all his life. I've lived in apartments all my life. I went to school in the hood, grew up in the hood. That ain't his story. Like, his story is totally different. He went to high school. His high school was, I wanna say, predominantly white because when I went through his yearbook, it was, like, more white kids than it was black. So, we live now in the area that he lived in when he went to high school. Not too far. This area is predominantly white. I mean, our neighbors are black. There are black people in this housing area, but it's predominantly white and Indian and Asian. So, yeah. He grew up totally different than me. And he grew up with a mother and a father. His parents are still alive. He grew up with his mom and dad. His parents are still together. They have been married over 50, I think they've been married 58 years, I think. I'm gonna have to ask my mother-in-law. But I think they've been married 58 years. So, yeah, he grew up different. And I think that was what attracted me to him when he was young. And then when we got back together in our 40s, and I realized he was still that same mellow, quiet guy, then yeah, I was, totally attracted to him. Now, don't get it twisted. My husband is ex-military, ex-police. He can get with you, but he is, a very even, tempered person. Moth Mama said, I think a high value man is a provider and protector, someone with integrity, loyalty, and honesty. That's it. All of those things wrapped up in a package. And it don't matter what the package looks like on the outside. Because that's the outside is the stuff that's not even important. If you got all those other things, then what more do you want? I don't like men that drink. I don't like men that drink. I don't like men that, smoke cigarettes and stuff. I mean, drink like you can have a drink. I mean, get drunk. I'm not into that. That I don't want. If we just sitting around and you have a beer or something on the weekends, or you have like one drink, that's cool. I just don't want to be dealing with no drunk dude. Like I saw this guy make this TikTok, and him and his buddies, I guess, went to Mexico or something. And it was like they all, one of them had threw up, the other one fell and like broke his ankle or something. Like, you so drunk, you go on vacation and break your ankle. I couldn't deal with that. I don't want that. I don't want anybody getting drunk and acting crazy because that was my first husband. He drank way too much. Way too much. So drinking is a deal breaker for me. Smoking is a deal breaker. You can smoke weed, but I don't want you smoking cigarettes. No, I can't deal with that. If you just like one, may smoke one cigarette or something, but a chain smoker, and if you smoke, smoke outside, smoke in the backyard. Don't ever smoke in the house. That would be my thing. Now, it's not a deal breaker if you smoke cigarettes, but it's a deal breaker if you're a chain smoker and you smoke in the house. If I go to your house, like I just meet you or whatever, and I go to your house and your whole house smell like cigarettes, that's a deal breaker for me. That's a deal breaker. I can't do it. So, um, I don't call men high value men. I'm not looking for a man, like you don't have to make six figures. You don't have to drive a Mercedes. You don't have to have a Tesla. Your bank, you don't have to have $200,000 in your bank account. Like I don't have this whole laundry list for a man, but there are some things that you do have to have. Yeah, that pretty boy thing. You take longer than me to get ready. No. You out here doing your eyebrows. You in the bathroom, you doing your eyebrows. You walking around the house in a bonnet because you got your hair in a protective style. Hell no. I can't do that. Mm-mm. I can't deal with that. Yeah, a glass of wine with dinner is fine, but yes, make sure your money is legal. Don't be out here doing stuff that's gonna cause you or both of us to go to jail. Go to work. And I don't care where you work. You could be a garbage man. At least your money legit. I don't care what you do. I'm not one of those women either that, oh, I'm not gonna date no man that's a garbage man. Garbage men make good money. Oh, he worked for the city. I ain't dating no man that work for the city. Some of them people that work for the city, especially if they getting overtime, they making good money. They got good dental, vision, health insurance. So I don't have no qualms about where no man work as long as it's legit. You could be a veterinarian. I don't care. You could work on people's feet. You could be a podiatrist. I don't care. You can be folding shirts at Old Navy. At least it's legit. It's legal. I don't care where you work. As long as you get up every morning and go somewhere, especially if I'm working. So I don't care about all that. Yeah. I don't care if you work at Walmart. As long as that's paying our bills, we ain't struggling. So all that, I can't date no man if he work at won't and won't. I don't. He got a job, girl. There's potential there. He got a job. Long as he working. Stop putting these men down that's working. I done seen people on social media put a man down because he work at a certain place. Stop doing that. At least he working. Let him. You got to start somewhere. So this high value this, and he got to do this, and he got to wear this kind of suit, and he got to own this kind of watch, and all that kind of stuff. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care nothing about all that. Oh, he got on an Armani suit and he got this and he wearing polo. I ain't gonna talk to no man if he don't have this and he don't. I don't care what kind of watch he got. I'm not looking at your watch anyway. We go out to dinner. I mean, if the watch look nice, it look nice, but I don't care. I could care less. I care about how you picked me up. Did you at least try to shine your shoes or something? We going out to dinner? Did you put on a belt? Do you look nice? Or your clothes iron? What's the matter, Poochie? I'm too loud? Huh? I'm too loud? You okay? You okay, baby? Gizmo got 3 shots today. So I have been just hovering over him like a crazy person all day long. If he If he sleeps too long, I'll wake him up. I'll be like, "You all right? You all right? Wake up, wake up." No, he hate me. I don't care though. Wake up. Let me make sure you okay. So I've been um making him stand up to make sure he moving around okay because he got a shot in both hip and one up in the shoulder. So he had rabies, Bordella. I forgot what that shit is, child. But anyway, he had 3 shots today. So mama been mom been watching me like a hawk. I'm gonna make sure I okay. I've been, rubbing his little legs and stuff, but he's not whimpering or acting like it hurts, so he must be okay. That's my baby. He was looking at me, so maybe I'm talking too loud. He want me to shut up. Sundrop said, "But if he a brain surgeon, that's good." And yeah, honey, I ain't gonna turn down no brain surgeon now. But if he's a janitor, that's my husband, and you better not say nothing about him. Okay, that's my husband, and you gonna put some respect on his name. That's how I am. My husband just has a regular job. I mean, he is a supervisor, but I mean, he's just a regular guy. He's not a brain surgeon. He's not an engineer. Oh, hey, Kelly. He's not, a mechanical engineer. He's not what some people would consider a high value job, but he's my husband and he's a good guy. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. If he says he's going to call me at a certain time, he's going to call me. If he say we're going out to dinner, we're going out to dinner. You know? Now my husband is not the best gift giver. We working on that. He's not he don't pick out good gifts. You have to literally tell him what you want. Now he's a good give you the credit card. Here, go get what you want. But he's not one of those people that will like surprise you. I bought you this. Every now and then he will shock me. But he's not one of the best gift givers. But we're working on that. And I have accepted the fact that you know, that's not one of his strong points. But he has so many other strong points that I can deal with that. And I know that if I want something, I'm going to get it. I just got to get it myself or tell him what it is and where it is and ride with him to get it, and I'll get it. Unless it's something on Amazon and I'll like send him the link and then, he'll order it for me and it'll come. But other than that, he's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get so and so for my wife. Like, we've been married since 2013. And he still hasn't like really figured me out yet. And I'm not that complicated. Sundrop said, I'm a good woman now and would like to find a good friend now. Just keep looking. Keep your options open and stay positive. Just like you just said, I'm a good woman now and I would like to find a good friend. Keep putting that out in the universe. Just like you said it. I'm a good woman and I want to find a good friend. Get up and say that every morning. Keep putting that out into the universe, and the universe is eventually going to bring you somebody. Because that's where I was when me and my husband got back together. I was at a point where I was like, you know what? It's time for me to get married again. My kids were in their 20s. Because the whole time that my kids were, in their teens and stuff, my whole focus was getting them to 18. If I can get them there, then I can start really concentrating on myself. So after they got to 20, I was like, okay, I'm ready to get married. I started throwing that out into the universe. I'm ready for a husband. It's time for me to get a husband. It's time for me to start putting, all of that energy into myself. I have given so much to my children. It's my turn now. I want a husband. I want to be married again. Like I really want to love on somebody. I want somebody to love on me. I started putting that out into the universe, and here come my big head husband on Facebook. His sister found me on Facebook because we knew each other when we were young. His sister was like real young. Like I'm really surprised that she remembered me. But his sister found me on Facebook and she told him, I saw Lashana. And he was like, what? And he friended me and we start talking. And 3 years, 2 years later, we got married. So we got together in the beginning of 2011 and we got married the end of 2013. That's our story. But we were basically high school sweethearts that he went to the military and I didn't think he was coming back. So, I just started living my own life. Like he went to the military. I don't know. We kind of had this weird breaking up kind of. I got mad at him over some stuff and he went to the military and he was gone. So we didn't get back together. And when he came back from, well, I had heard, did I get married first? I think I got married. And when he did come back from the military, he came back here. He was in the reserves. When he came back, I was pregnant. I was married, but he was married also. He had brought his wife from Germany to the States. So he had got married. I was married and pregnant. And that was our story. And then I got a divorce. Now we ain't talked to each other, period. I got divorced, he got divorced, we still hadn't talked to each other. I ran into him probably when I was, like, in my early 30s. He was in a relationship that at the time, I didn't know that he wasn't happy in that relationship. Had I known he wasn't happy, I would have pushed up on him then, but I thought he was happy. I thought him and the girl was happy. Come to find out, he wasn't even happy with the girl. So, um, I didn't see or hear from him again until Facebook. So, um, the rest is history. Now we are married, Granny and Papa. That's who we are to our family. We are Granny and Papa. So he has, um, integrated into my family. Everybody loves him. The grandkids don't know anybody but him. You know what I mean? Like their biological grandfather passed. I think Amani was the only grandchild that was born, yeah, that he saw. The rest of the grandkids were born after he had passed. They were born with my husband. Me and Eric were together. So to all of the grandkids, he is Papa. That's their grandfather. They don't know nobody else. That's Papa. Even to Amani, because Amani doesn't, remember her real grandfather. Amani met my husband when she was 2. But that's Papa. That she don't know nobody else. So he is Papa to all these grandkids. He has integrated into my family. He is Papa. So yeah, I love to see older people, in relationships. If I don't care what we're not made to be alone. We're not. God made man and woman for a reason. We're not meant to be alone. Even when I see animals, you rarely see them really by themselves. In the morning when I get up and go outside and look for my lizard, normally it's two. And I'm just assuming, excuse me, that it's a girl and a boy. Because one of them do look a little bit bigger than the other one. No, animals don't want to be by themselves. They like to be with other animals or a human or, like dogs. They either have another human, they have a human or, another dog or cat or something. And we as humans are not meant to be by ourselves. We like to be with somebody else. Unless you just a hermit and don't like other people. But most people like to, be in some type of relationship. Your mom is 80 and your dad is 92 and they still met. I love them kind of relationships. My um mother and father-in-law, they've been together since they were teenagers. They've been married. I think they got married when they were 20, 19, and 20, something like that. But they've been together. Like they've known each other since they were young. They've been together since they were like teenagers, like they, courted and stuff for a while before they got married. And they've been married since they were in their 20s. And I think my father in law is 79, I think. And my mother in law is 77, I think. Something like that. They in their 70s. They've been together for 57 years. Either 57 or 58. No, it'd have to be 58. They've been married 58 years because my husband is 57. So they've been married 58 years. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that my husband has had both of his parents and his parents have been together because that shows him that people can do it. That people can, you know, I'm pretty sure in that 58 years they haven't always seen eye to eye, but they stayed together. They took their vows and they made them work. He knows that a marriage can work. And that's the kind of stuff that, is important to me. That's what I love. That, when me and my husband decided to get married, he was like, "We not getting no divorce. We are walking into this marriage understanding that divorce is not an option. We are too intelligent not to be able to sit down and talk about things that are going on. If something is going on, tell me. Let's fix it." And that has always been, the way we have dealt with our marriage. If something is happening, let me tell you, we gonna talk about it. Now I'm gonna have the attitude, but when I get over my attitude, we gonna talk about it. I'm not going to just like not tell you, or I'm not just gonna leave you every time I get mad at you. No, we gonna sit down and figure out what's going on so we can deal with it. We are adults. Adults talk through their problems. That's high value. A man that can sit down and have an intelligent conversation without getting mad and upset every time things don't work out the way I don't want no man that's going to punch the wall every time he get mad. No, sit down with me and tell me what's going on. And don't name call and blame and point the finger and, want to get aggressive with me when I do something that you think I shouldn't have done. Let's just talk about it. Yeah, there's hope for you, girl. I got married in my 40s. We got married in our early 40s, I think. I don't know, child. I'm 57. We've been married almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years next year. So whatever 57 minus 9 is, that's how old I was. That was in my 40s. There is still hope. Put it out there in the universe that that is what you want. If you have to write it down as your affirmation and put it on a sticky note and put it next to your um medicine cabinet, so when you brush your teeth in the morning, that's the first thing you see. I'm ready. I am a good person. Put it out there every day. Put it out there in the universe. Tell the universe you ready. I'm ready. I want it. You have to let the universe know that you want it. Even the Bible says, knock and it shall be open to you. Seek and ye shall find. Ask for what you want. Ask me. Tell me what it is you want and get out here and get it. You can't just sit around and think that it's going to happen for you. No, you got to be out here knocking, seeking, and finding. Speak it to the universe. Tell the universe what you want. Tell God what you want. He ain't just going to give it to you. You got to tell him. So if you got to tell him every day, tell him every day. God is me again. I know you sick of me. And I know you got other kids. But let me tell you this before you get your day started. Because I know you got a lot on your plate. But let me put this on the plate too. You know, when you go to the buffet and you want a little bit of everything, and before you realize it, you piling stuff on top. It ain't falling off the plate. And as long as it don't fall off the plate, you good. And that's how God is. You just add yours to the plate. It's not going to fall off. He going to get it. Now, I'm pretty sure his plate is piled high. But he is so great that things won't fall off the plate. Okay? So just add yours to the pile. You got to give it to him. You got to tell God, it's me again. It's your humble servant. It's Lashana. Okay? It's your tie-dye child. It's me. You got to tell him. I'm telling you, girl, you have to tell him what you want. You have to be specific about what you want, and you have to believe that he's going to give it to you. Believe it. Accept it as if it is already done. I can see it. I know that I'm going to have a husband. I'm going to be happy. Because it is God's design for us all to be happy. You know, he doesn't want us to be sad. He wants us all to be happy. But sometimes you have to get out there and because you know the buzzword now is manifesting. So manifest your man. Put your positive girl panties on every morning. Every morning you get up, you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself who you are and you tell the universe what you want. Every morning. Just make that your routine. I'm a good person. And it is another good person out there in the world for me. Send your magnet out there and attract them. Pull them to you. Get up every morning, clean off your force field so that, you know, the attraction in your magnet is strong. Your positivity, throw that out there. And before you know it, they gonna be, girl, you gonna be fighting them off. God dog, I don't need the Henry. God, go on somewhere. You gonna be fighting them off you. You gonna have to get you a bat. Be like, that almost shooting woman told me, and it's men everywhere. You're gonna be out, you're gonna be going to the mailbox, and the UPS man, he's gonna be, hey girl, you know, go to the grocery store and the cashier at the grocery store. Hi, how you doing today? Did you find everything you was looking for? You gonna be like, what? I sure did. Everywhere you go, they gonna be on you. That's because you're putting out that energy. I'm open. I want it to come to me. And the universe is like, there she is. She right there. And they gonna come get you. They gonna come get you, girl. You gotta put yourself out there though. You gotta tell the universe you ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. So I don't know. Y'all get out here and think about what you want in a man. What is high value to you? Do you want the quote unquote high value man? Or do you just want a normal guy? Figure out what you want and tell the universe what it is. Make a list. My husband said, I'll see if he wants to talk about this tomorrow. But my husband said that he had decided that he wanted to get married. And he had this list of qualities that he was looking for in a woman. And he had wrote them down. So write down what you're looking for. You know, write down the qualities that you're looking for, the things that are really, really important to you. And not those superficial things like, I want him to be light skinned. I want him to have green eyes. I want him to have curly hair. And I want him to have big feet and all this kind of stuff. Because it's not important. It's not important. Because you can't take them green eyes to the bank and get a loan for a car. You gonna walk into that bank and be like, my husband got green eyes. You'll be like, and what's your credit score? You can't do nothing with that curly hair. Not nothing. Because just because he light skinned with green eyes or he has hazel eyes or whatever, don't mean that your kids, when y'all genes get together and mesh, don't mean that you're gonna have a child that has the same thing. Because I don't look nothing. Me and my dad, we're not the same complexion. The only thing that I have from my father is his eyes. And my mom said his attitude. But outward appearance, we don't look the same. So, and looks fade. Like, I, of course, don't look like I did in my 20s. And the only reason why you can't see all that gray in my hairline today is because I had on my wig yesterday and I put that black stuff around there to cover my gray. So when I had my wig on, you couldn't see all that gray hair sticking out. Because it's time for me to dye my hair. I'll probably do that tomorrow. We're not going to look like we did in our 20s. And neither is your mate. My husband has gained weight. He looks totally different. I mean, he looks the same. He's just bigger than he was when we were young. But his face is basically the same. He just got a beard now and he's bigger. So figure out what it is you want. Write those things down, the qualities that you want in a man, and let the universe bring him to you. Thank you, Sundrop. I'm out here praying for you, girl, because I want everybody to be happy. I really do. I want everybody. I believe that if you want a mate, I want you to have one. If you one of those people that you don't want to be in a relationship, that's fine. Then I ain't tripping. If you don't want to be in one, I don't want you to be in one. But if you want to be in one, then yeah, I want you to be in one because I want you to be happy. And there are women and men out here who don't want the relationship thing is not for them. They don't want to be in a relationship. And that's fine. Some people like their space. They don't like to share. They don't, want to be with other people. And that's good. If that's how you truly want to live your life, then who am I to tell you got to be with somebody? No, I'm not about to do that. So think about what qualities you look for in a person, and all of these relationship gurus out here, take what they say with a grain of salt because nobody is perfect. And Kevin Samuels proved that no one is perfect. And what he thinks about women is not what he thought was not written in stone. It was just his opinion. We all have our opinion, and he was just a man that didn't like big women, that I really believe had some mama and daddy issues, and it showed in the way that he talked about people. And I want him to rest in peace. Really wish that that hadn't happened to him the way that it did. But we all have to leave here. None of us can stay forever. Some of us are here longer than others, but we all got to go. All of us have a expiration date. And when that date comes, we got to leave. And his date came. And it just looks like he had so many, plans for the future. There was so much that he wanted to do. He was, trying to get all these like-minded men together. They was all, going to take over the world or whatever. I don't know, child. But it didn't happen. And it wasn't meant to happen. The people that he touched and what he did, that was it. He wasn't supposed to do anymore. We do what we're supposed to do, and that's it. So that was his legacy. That's that. And we have to accept that and move on. So that's it, y'all. I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, um, I will come earlier. It probably won't be late like it was today because, like I told y'all, I took a nap, woke up late, and so I said, "Well, let me come on in and at least talk a little bit." So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to get started on tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about love, attraction, manifestation. I saw Doctor Strange yesterday. And if you are into those type of, like the Marvel comic book series, if you're into those type of movies, Doctor Strange it was good. It was really good because I really do like the Scarlet Witch. Um I like those type of, witchy, spiritual type superheroes. I don't just go for the superheroes that, have like powers that are more physical. I like the more spiritual, metaphysical type superheroes. So Scarlet Witch, I really like her. So if you're into that type of movie, you're gonna like Doctor Strange. I really liked it. We saw it yesterday. So go check that out if you like those type of movies. So maybe tomorrow we'll talk about manifestation, or um maybe we'll talk about the law of attraction. Because I don't think I've talked about that in a while. And I'm pretty sure I have the book and it is here somewhere. I'll look for it and see. I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.